All right. Welcome back to the Built to Grow podcast. I'm your host, Tim Lyons, with Nick on videos on the ones and twos, and joined by Randy Angston. What's up, man?
How we doing, brother?
Can I get a round of applause for that? That's so good. We got to use those more.
I'm telling you, we got to get the NBA jams.
He's heating up.
He's on fire. And was it TE, Tournament Edition, right?
Oh, it's the best. That was such a fun game. Go to my neighbor's house when I was young, in high school or whatever, and just, he's heating up. It was 2-on-2, right? Or 1-on-1?
It was 2-on-2.
2-on-2.
Yeah, 2-on-2.
Yeah, when you throw the alley open, the guy would jump from half court.
Well, and you were on fire, and you couldn't miss anything until somebody had a decent defensive play in there or something. Tried to block you.
So fun.
Oh man,
NBA Jam. That, you know what? That would be a good arcade game, like a full size arcade.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Nick, can we write that down? Let's go ahead and
make a note of that.
Look that up on Amazon.
Got to get that other one back in and start playing some Tecmo Bowl.
Oh yeah, I have it in the other room. The little Nintendo thing.
Yeah. Score.
All right. So this episode, we can talk for hours on. He's heating up. This episode is going to be a little different, guys. We're really curious. We were just talking before the show about like, hey, what's holding these gym owners back? We've got all the information out there. There's, gym owners going in through the day-to-day motions. They're not growing. They're going backwards sometimes. They're struggling. They are putting fires out. There's no clarity. They're all over the place. And so we're like, well, what could it be? Is it? And we'll get into what we think, but we're just curious, and we're going to have a conversation open. You're going to hear us talking between me and Randy about why isn't everybody succeeding? Now, I know, granted, not 100% of the world can be successful, right? I mean, you have to have winners and losers in every game, but there's a lot more potential on the table for a lot of you than you're really, I guess, living up to, or your businesses are living up to.
Taking advantage of.
Right. And so curious as to why do we think that is?
Yeah, that's a good one. When we were sitting here kind of coming up with, we always ponder topics to bring to you guys. I mean, our objective is to give you guys information that's going to help you win. What does that mean, right? Moving the needle of the business forward, making more, revenue at the end of the year, growing your business and your membership base, your lifestyle that goes along with it, right? We're big on owner benefit. And, after 400 and something episodes deep, it is surprising to us to hear and see how many gym owners are still, not getting by very well, not failing to succeed well, but literally struggling sometimes.
Yeah.
And, as we were talking about it, is it the owner themselves and the skill set that they bring to the table? Is it a lack of knowledge? Is it a lack of information, lack of action? Like all of these different options. And so, we've been pondering kind of what is the commonality that's really holding them back. And I think we have a couple different beliefs, but ultimately I think, it all rolls up to you as the owner have to have complete control. I mean, you have to take complete responsibility for the success and failure of your business.
That was the word I was looking for, responsibility. So, you're listening to this right now, you drive and you're working out, you're thinking about your business, and you're like, well, it's, I'm not getting leads because I don't know how to market. Not good at sales, and that's why we're not making sales. Or so-and-so, my trainer isn't, we're losing clients because he's not a great trainer. Well, all of those things essentially are your fault
100%.
Because you're the captain of the ship, and everything, lives and goes through you. So as the owner, you need to take full responsibility, whether it's good or it's bad. Like, you should take responsibility if you're succeeding as well.
Absolutely.
You have to.
You get one of these.
Yeah. By the way, we have some awards. We'll talk about those maybe in another episode. But if you want a sneak peek, go to winninggym.com/awards.
That sounds about right.
winninggym.com/awards. Okay. So the information's out there. We've done 400 episodes. You can go on YouTube. You can go ask in Facebook groups. You can, probably on a million email lists. People are driving information in front of you all the time. But information without action or taking, a step in the right direction really is pointless.
Yeah.
It's worthless. It's white noise. It's almost distracting.
It's the person who sits there and reads every damn book under the sun, but never does a single thing that's in them.
Yes. And what's interesting is, as a gym owner, you took action somewhere along the line. You decided this was my path, right? I'm taking action. And so, deep down, you would assume you're a driven person, because there's hundreds of millions of other people that never take action. Sure. And you did. So great. Then what happened, right? What happened between the decision to take action, sign your name, open the LLC, open the bank account, open a gym, sign all those documents, and then today where you're not as driven anymore and you're not taking action? Is it adversity? Is it adversary?
Adversity?
Adversity? Is it adversity?
I like how you looked at me every time, like, wait, that's not right.
The best quote is our buddy Mike Tyson. He's like, everybody's got a plan to get punched in the mouth. And that's the truth, right? You've got this great plan, and then you get punched in the mouth. Somebody quits. Nobody's coming in the door. You can't keep coaches. Like, all this, there's punches in the mouth. And then the plan goes out the window.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you throw your hands up, like, I don't know. I mean, it's just not my fault.
Well, like there's a term that we use a lot, and it's run the play. When you know what needs to be done, I don't keep your BS to yourself. Like, I don't care. Like, what you need to do, run the play, right? And so, it's like sports. The defense always has an option. The guy could be somewhere else. The linebackers could be picking up making a read on the ball. You run the play, or you call an audible, knowing the information that you've received and can make an intelligent decision. But the end of the whole plan is to be able to execute regardless of the external influences, the circumstances. It's going back to what we know leads to the result. Falling in love with the process, not the result itself. Going back to doing the thing we know leads to success. I honestly think that gym owners are beat up hard. It's a hard business to be in, and I think at this point, it's not a lack of action or lack of information. I think the majority of gym owners know what they need to do, and they're resistant to doing it.
They're resistant to doing it, but then there's, somewhere in there's going to be a group of gym owners that realizes the gym business isn't the path.
Sure.
There's done. Like, and you should give up, right? You should close the doors and move on, versus sitting in that
cyclical,
like never growing, right? If you decided, nobody would fault you, right? I mean,
hey guys, we're giving you permission. Close your damn gym.
Yeah.
I mean, like, maybe that's what you need, because like maybe it's a pride thing or an ego thing, right? You were a phenomenal trainer, making great money. All the roles and responsibilities are that of a great trainer, and that's really where you want to be. And then all of a sudden, boom, you have a brick and mortar, and your job changes entirely.
Yeah, you don't do anything you like anymore.
Exactly. All of a sudden, your responsibility is a P&L, not your client's results. And the money's not plentiful because you don't know marketing and sales, and like all of these other aspects that now are your responsibility as the owner. You have to do all of those just to keep your head and a team above float.
It'd be interesting, and I'm not certain I know of anybody that's done this, but if you find yourself in that position, wouldn't it make sense to hire a CEO type person and let you train while somebody else is running the P&Ls and all this stuff? Like, you're not giving up ownership. I mean, you could give partial ownership, but maybe hiring a CEO type person or a COO to run operations around the backside of you, and then maybe you're in better shape. That's not a bad idea.
That hasn't dawned on me before. But I mean, we know, I guess as a business owner, right, there's functions of the job that have to be done in your business, right? In order to bring something to the marketplace, certain things have to happen in the four walls. Training's got to take place, marketing has to take place, sales have to take place. All of these things have to happen in order, for the business to grow and prosper and even just maintain. But the problem is if you're not doing it yourself, you need to employ somebody to do it. And I think we've gotten to the point, or a lot of gym owners are at the point where they're not willing to spend the money because they don't know what that either that cost should look like, or what they should pay somebody to do those functions. But yet they don't have the knowledge themselves to do it, so therefore it just doesn't happen.
And then nothing happens.
But I think putting somebody else, I mean, hell, it doesn't even have to be a full-time, but maybe you as the owner of the business just aren't the sales guy.
Yeah.
But you have somebody in your team who is the talker and can communicate well and do those things. You know, I know we use a term, or you've used the term, they're putting the right people in the right seats of the bus.
Sure, yeah.
Maybe it's just realigning some of the roles and responsibilities of the team that you already have to cover some of those gaps. Maybe the kid that's out there training on the training floor has, 200,000 Instagram followers because he understands what social content should look like and is doing it for himself. But you had no idea you could leverage that or ask him to do that for your business,
Yeah, that's true.
I think there's a lot of ways of going about the fixing those problems kind of per se. But ultimately, I think the biggest thing is having a real honest conversation with yourself as the owner, looking at the business, looking at the areas of opportunity, and then running at them.
Yeah. What do you want, right? What is this business? Does this business serve you? Like if you were to snap your fingers and say, hey, this is a perfect situation. The gym's making $500,000 a year. I've got 3 coaches. I'm in the gym, 10 hours a week, whatever, 5 hours a day, whatever you decide. What does that look like? Is that gonna fulfill what your I guess life goal is, right? And if that's it, then look at where you're at today, and then all the moves that you make is to get you to this end goal.
Life by design.
Life by design.
Yeah.
So, but I think. Nobody, well, I would say nobody, but I think some of the problem is nobody knows what that end goal looks like. Like, what are we trying to create here? So for me, it was really easy. I knew exactly what I wanted because I read some pivotal books. I saw my father in his day-to-day operations. He owned a business, not a gym, but he owned a business, and I saw him, and I knew what a business was versus what self-employed was, and I designed that.
Absolutely.
I designed the business.
Yep.
And here we are. I mean, it took time. This doesn't happen in a year. It could if you just every move you made was for that.
Right for that path, yeah.
And you had a whole cash flow, you were good. You could do it really quick.
Yeah.
But here we are today. I don't have anything to do with this gym whatsoever.
Yeah, zero obligation.
Yeah, exactly. Zero obligations to the operation.
Yep.
And it's cool, right? It's I think what a lot of gym owners want. They don't know how to get there.
Correct.
And so for me, it was to your point. Somebody's got to do the job. It's going to be you or somebody else. So might as well be somebody else. Teach them, coach them up, and get them to doing it at least as good as you or half as good as you at the beginning, and then go from a 6 to 7, a 7 to 8. And hey, maybe they end up at a 9. 90% of what you could do. Nobody's going to do it as good as the owner.
Yeah, well, typically, I mean, it depends, I guess, right? Because if these are things outside of your skill set, it is your job to get the hell out of the way.
True.
Find the person who can do it better than you and put them in that seat.
Sure.
And I think that's part of some of the struggle. Also, we've worked with plenty of gym owners that, God forbid, they relinquish any control of any aspect of the business because woe's me mentality. I can't trust that person to do that. And first of all, you hired them, so if you can't trust them. You should be able to trust your employees with your life. I mean, they are to a degree. They're they're driving your business. Yeah. You're putting a lot of responsibility and trust and faith in them just by having them walk through your 4 walls and represent your brand. If you can't trust them to handle bigger decisions, you should really seriously consider who you have working for you then. Right?
Yeah. It's true. And so you're listening to this like, oh, the idea behind what we're doing right now is to get you thinking.
Yeah.
And maybe, it's still early enough in the year. You can change, you can turn the ship around by the end of this year if that's your goal. But some people walk into their gyms this morning and they don't have a plan whatsoever. There's no checklist items. There's no thing that they're even avoiding, right? Like we talked about.
Yeah.
There's sometimes we avoid things we don't know how to do. Sometimes there's nothing even on that list, and we're just, let's get to work today, everybody.
It's showing up and being reactive as opposed to being proactive, and that's one of the first things that we teach every gym owner that works with us is your days are dictated by what you're putting on paper and setting the tone for the day. It's not showing up in the 4 walls and going, all right, what fires do I have to put out? You're being led by the business as opposed to steering the ship. And it's intentionality. We need to get you back to a place of intentionality. Guys, growing a business is not hard when you know what grows a business. It's taking those actions and doing it in a manner. It's unfortunate that we have to say it, but it's not always sexy. It's not always fun. It's not always Christmas morning, you know. Winning gyms are built upon the repetition of the things that are done right.
Over and over.
You run the play over and over, and guys, you wonder why a business like Starbucks is just, you know, flooded with clients and customers. It's because every time you walk through that those doors, you know you're getting the exact same thing that you wanted every single time, and it's done the same exact way. That is the guarantee that Starbucks brings to the marketplace. That's their promise. That's their brand promise, right? You're going to get that cup of coffee the way that you requested it every time that you do. And when they follow through with that, it reaffirms your decision to buy from Starbucks. That's what your clients are looking for in your business. Yep. Is that repeatable experience that leaves them feeling, you know, like a win. And so, you know, it's tough, but I think we got to get out of our own way. We have to start building more mental toughness, more willingness to do the routine despite the way that we feel, because it's not always fun. And run at those things of adversity. I mean, there are holes and opportunities in your business right now, you know, and guarantee after I just said that, you've thought of them. Half of them you're not even willing to admit, probably, right? Because only you know of them. Those are the things that are holding you back from moving the needle of your business right now. That's the stuff that you have to run forward at.
Yes, run forward. And one other thing, I want to take down a wall that some people don't realize is even there. Depending on the groups of gym owners you're in circles with today, there's some line in the sand as to what is considered good and not good. I'm here to tell you guys a $50, $60, $70, $80,000 a month business is normal.
Yes.
Not a $19,400 a month business. And it's interesting because in our Iron Circle and some of our coaching groups, we've had people come over from other groups where maybe they were at the top of that other group, and then they come into the Iron Circle and they're breaking all-time records again and again and again. And they didn't think there was anything after. They thought they were at this point of like, this is the best it gets. And if you look at your P&L and you look at your projections and you're, you know, 20 grand a month, and you think that's great, I mean, I don't think it's great. I'd be closed. The doors would be closed if I was doing that.
And that's what they're exposed to, right? It's people they're surrounded by. It's what they've heard it's the 6 minute mile type thing, right? 4 minute mile. Yeah. 6 minute. It's that, right? Their belief and their scope is built around what they've seen to be possible.
And I know, and that's why I'm saying that.
Yeah.
I'm saying that because you got to change your circle.
I'll take it one step further. I mean, like hard numbers. We know statistically based on that report we talked about probably a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
What was it, 15,000 or something?
19,000.
19,000 was the majority, the masses were earning per month in revenue. Our clients on average are doing over twice that in monthly reoccurring revenue.
Yeah.
Every single month you have that coming into your bank account, twice what your competitors are doing every single damn month. If you're not doing things like that, if you're not in that position, the only way to get in that position, to Tim's point, is to surround yourself by those that are.
It's the absolute truth. It's very interesting. I'm seeing it from the inside, but also from the outside. I'm seeing these gym owners coming from these other groups, and just not that we've changed a whole lot. We've done a few specific things in their business that made changes, but like it's them.
We asked that question.
It's them. They've decided this is not good enough, and now here we are making 60, 80, 70. I mean, gosh, we're going to do a mashup. I mean, we have to, with all these record-breaking years and months that people are having with our, in the Profit, I guess, ecosystem, if you will. They're just coming over, and they've decided they see other people doing it, and now they can do it. That's exactly what it is.
I was just gonna say, we had the conversation. We were talking about after our last global call. We were talking about how many of those gyms in our Iron Circle chat, how many gyms are having their record-breaking months and years. And I don't remember if it was Daniel or Ryan or one of those gentlemen mentioned. He goes, honestly, I didn't know this was possible. After so many years in business and the people that he was, hanging around with, the other business owners and gym owners and stuff like that, in that network, he was, towards the top of that. Yeah, exactly. And that's where his belief level was set. And until he was exposed to how others were doing and how others were doing it, and like you said, it wasn't astronomical changes. It wasn't like we're going from, a one-on-one training gym to all of a sudden you're doing a different style of training, moving. No, like this gym was already doing well. That's why he was sitting in this seat with us. But it's squeezing it for a little bit more. It's going from good to great, not from okay to good, in
the process of those, and I know all the gym owners you're talking about, they've continued to remove their obligations into the gym at the same time. So not only are they making more money, they're removing their obligations so they have more time. Like that's a win-win. That's usually the opposite. It's an inverse effect. Yep. If I spend more time in the business, I'll make more money. That's what you would think, right?
That's either self-employed or an employee of a business.
Correct.
Correct.
But their business owner mentality, they put the systems in place and then they're removing themselves and they're growing. And it's amazing. It's a great feeling. And I sometimes take it a little bit for granted that this is the norm for us. But when I read reports like we read and I see these other groups of gym owner coaching groups putting their record boards up and the number 1, 2, 3, 4 revenue generating gyms in that entire group are like the bottom third of ours. It's like pretty cool feeling, right? It's like, and essentially it's just the opportunity for growth exists when you surround yourself with like-minded, driven individuals. That is the motto of the Iron Circle.
And to throw a little additional context on there, we're not throwing shade at those other coaching groups. They are there for a specific reason. Getting you to that level is what they do. But when you're at that level, don't assume that that's as far as the road goes. That's the difference. They've taken you, those systems, all of that stuff has gotten you there. Maybe now it's time to look at something different, try some different things so that you can go from that next level of growth. What got you to where you're at today is not going to be what's going to get you to that next level.
Yeah.
And we constantly do that with businesses. I mean, at different stages of growth, there's different things to focus on. I mean, I remember when we had Mike Gelfgott back on, on way long ago, and, he was we were all talking about what it's like having 24, 25 gyms, specific locations. And he was telling us the same thing when it came to, duplicating or adding in locations, right?
Yeah.
0 to 5, one set of problems. 5 to 10, different set of problems. 10 to 15, different set of like you're always working on different aspects that help the whole thing grow.
Right.
And that's how it is in growing your gym. You can get to certain levels of doing the grind, working your ass off in 60 hours a week. But how do I get to the next level? Well, that's when you start looking at the business like a business owner, and start asking questions like who, not how, or what system can I bring into my business that'll do this every time somebody takes that action, as opposed to me having to do it every time, or an employee of my business doing it every single time.
Exactly.
It all starts with the thought process, though, and how you think about your business, the action that follows.
Well, that's the challenge for this episode. Think about your business today. Where do you want it to be? Who are you surrounding yourself with? What action items are you taking, deliberately taking, proactively taking to make those changes?
Yeah.
And what are you avoiding?
Well, and we could talk, just specifically too, if the people that you're surrounding yourself with, people, guys, and maybe you don't talk to other business owners, maybe you're not hanging out with other gym owners, maybe you don't know what's possible because you haven't, put your neck out there and looked. But like they used to say, you're the average of the 5 people you spend your time with. Mm-hmm. If your influences aren't doing the shit you want to do, if they all are, if the people around you they're either kind of a lower caliber than yourself, if your friends look at you as like the guy who's running a business and they're all looking up to and all of that stuff, if you don't have your tribe that you look up to and aspire to be like and emulate from, that's where you have to start. Because if you're the smartest guy in the room, you're in the wrong damn room.
It's unbelievable the changes that happen when you surround yourself with the right people. It's just crazy. It happens organically. It's not like
You ever notice too, the more successful people are, the more willing they are to help others?
It's interesting. It is. It's cool.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
But yeah, so something to think about, guys. This was just a thinking episode. Open. We're not teaching much. We're just we're having an open jam here. So hopefully this gets your wheels turning a little bit, gets you taking action. We want to see you win. That's our only goal in this show, in ProFit, is to see you guys win. Make a good run at this thing. If you need help, obviously you know how to. There's links in the show notes. You can figure out how to get to us. But hopefully that helps. That's it for this episode. Until next show, keep changing lives. See you on the next one. Bye. All right, and thank you for listening to that episode of the Built to Grow podcast, where we help gym owners win. Now, do you want to connect with me and other gym owners online? All you need to do is join our private Facebook group, Business Talk with Fitness Professionals. Just head on over to Facebook and type in Business Talk with Fitness Professionals, and when you do, we're going to give you our 10 marketing strategies 7-figure gym owners use to win. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Until then, keep building something great.